at the top.
I turned it on.
And so Linus here from our support group, if you're having any trouble getting your video to work or getting your audio to work, she's here to help you get all set up. You can reach out to her verbally before we start class, and you can always reach her in the chat. I'll check into some people that are, let's see, Antoinette.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you? Rosa, good morning. I got somebody that's iPad 74. If you want, I can change your name if you want. Okay. I don't know if you can hear me, but if you want me to put your name there instead of iPad 74, I can do that or show you how to do it. Eileen? Welcome. I got Carter. Sharon? You here? And if you can hear me, just go ahead and unmute and just say hi.
I'm here. Hello.
Thank you. That way I know that I can hear you, so that if you have questions later, when you have questions later, I can answer your questions. All right, great.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Okay, Mac, are you here?
Message from unknown number.
Oh.
Yes, I can hear you. It's Mac.
Okay. Hi, Mac. How are you?
Thank you. Good.
Virginia, are you? Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? Is that Barbara? Barbara Prishak?
Good morning. This is Rosa.
Hey, Rosa. How are you?
Doing good, thank you.
It is Barbara Prusak.
Okay. I'm going to change your name just for this class so that I will remember who you are. Let's see. There you go. All right. Let's see who else. I haven't heard. I think I've heard most everybody. Debbie,
I'm here.
you're here. Okay, great. And then looks like Regina's on her iPhone. Hi. Sharon, you're in twice. That's probably okay. We may pick up an echo on one of them. But I'm not hearing anything right now. All right, so anyone having trouble with either their audio or video? Oh, hey, Josie. I see you there. You snuck in on me. I didn't see you. Welcome.
I did say hello.
Okay, I thought I heard your voice. I didn't check you off my list over here. There you go. So I've got you. All right. Okay. So we usually take the first 5 minutes to kind of meet and greet and give people a chance to get their technology working. And again, I think I've heard from everybody, which is the main thing, that I can hear you and you can hear me. Again, if you do want to turn on your camera, that would be great, but it's not required. I'm going to go ahead and get started with some of the housekeeping issues. So we've got a few more people that might join us midstream here, but let me go ahead and share my screen and get a couple of things cleared up, and then we'll go ahead and jump into the agenda. So I need to, as usual, move your pictures around so I can see you on my other monitor. Looking over here, I'm looking at your pictures, not staring out the window. The blinds are closed. We all live in dark rooms with Zoom these days. Okay, and I will be muting frequently during the course of the class. When I start to hear background noise, I'm going to go ahead and mute everyone now. So please do just check and see if you're muted before you ask a question or make a comment. If you are, just unmute yourself and go ahead and ask away. You don't need to raise your hand. Just go ahead and ask your question. I'm going to also open the chat. So if anyone is having trouble with their microphone, you can reach me via the chat. But if your microphone's working, please do just go ahead and ask your questions out loud. That way everyone else will hear your questions, and I will hear them real time and get you a quick answer as well. But if you're having any trouble, I do now have the chat open, so that's available. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. This class this morning is Amazon Alexa, what it is and why you might want one. Once you get one, you probably can't live without her. My name is Wade, and I'll be the guide for the class this morning. Very briefly, a little bit about me. I come from a small town called Mason, Tennessee, just outside of Memphis. I have a PhD in experimental psychology and taught college for a while, but then kind of shifted careers and went into installing and training users on healthcare information systems. So I've been training adults with technology for most of my career. But one of the things I love about teaching at Get Set Up is that I'm teaching people that are here by their own design. You're not here because your employer told you to take the class or it was a required course in college. So it's nice to have people that are interested in learning, which is what Get Set Up is all about. We try to create a nice, safe environment where people can learn things they want to learn, interact with other people in the same class as well as with the instructor. And sometimes you help me as well, because sometimes questions come up that I don't know the answer to, and somebody else will unmute and give the answers. So that's great. I keep learning as well as you. The session's being recorded, and any participant can request a copy of that recording by sending an email to help@getsetup.io. I'm going to put that in the chat in case you don't have it already. You'll be using that email a lot. So if you're new and don't have that, go ahead and put that in your email. We also are live streaming the class. We're starting to live stream a lot of our classes now. And I'll show you how you can get to that live stream at the end of class from our website. But if you are joining us through live stream, I do want to welcome you to the class as well. Thank you for attending. But I do want to recommend that you go ahead and sign up for classes so that you can actually interact with the instructor as well as with the other learners and get that full Get Set Up experience. Okay. And finally, Get Set Up is not paid to promote any of the products that we train on. We are purely trainers. So let's talk about what we're going to cover today. By the end of the class, you should know what voice assistants are, how to install and customize Alexa, how to use common Alexa commands, and there's a lot of them, and how to use Alexa to communicate with other people. So let's start with the basics. And again, I'm going to go through some background material here fairly quickly, but please unmute and ask your question or tell me to say that again. You missed it if I go too quickly. We're going to start off with talking about what a voice assistant is. Alexa is an example of a voice assistant, and pretty much a voice assistant is software. It's artificial intelligence, and you can ask it a question, give it a command, and it will respond back verbally to you, responding to your questions and commands. Other common voice assistants are Siri for Apple. If you've got an iPhone, you probably have used Siri. Google has something called Google Assistant. It works very similarly to Alexa and Siri. So a voice assistant runs on a device that has a microphone and a speaker. Obviously, you need a microphone for it to hear you and a speaker so it can talk back to you. Originally, we used smart speakers, they're called, speakers that had a microphone built in. There are some other ways that we're doing voice assistants now as well. We'll talk about those, but again, they still have to meet that requirement of a microphone and a speaker. So a little bit about Alexa. Alexa was unveiled in 2014, so fairly new, but there's over 100 million Alexa-enabled smart devices in use around the world and growing very rapidly. Alexa is very popular. There are a number of different Alexa devices, and I'm going to actually go to Amazon and let's take a look at some of these. And hang on a second, I think I got oh, don't do that. I may have a shortcut in here. Yeah, I do. Save me having to type. I'm lazy, I don't like to type. So I just had a link here to the Amazon site where the Echo and Alexa devices are. And we talked about smart speakers. That was the original way, originally the only way you could get a voice assistant, Alexa or any of the others. They've evolved. This is what the Model 2 looked like. The second generation, the first generation looked very much like it. The third generation was shaped the same as this. This is called the hockey puck lots of times because it looks a little bit like a hockey puck. The fourth generation is the one you see here, which is now spherical instead of hockey puck shaped. It gives better sound than the old ones. I've got a second generation and a third generation, and there was a huge jump in sound quality even from the second to the third, even though the form factor didn't change. I haven't heard a fourth, but I'm guessing it sounds much better than even the third generation.
Are they identified on the back of them somewhere, which generation they are?
I don't know that it is or not. The second generation is shiny, and the third generation shaped the same way, but it's got fabric on the outside. So it's easy to tell second generation from third generation. Okay. And then, of course, the fourth generation is round. So there's probably still some first generations floating around out there, but not very many of those left, probably.
What do those look like?
They look pretty much like this one, I think. So I'm not sure how to tell a first from a second. They're both hockey puck shaped. Yeah. So let me go down here. Now there's other variations. So the Echo Dot is the entry point. It's the least expensive. It's $50 for the Echo Dot 4th generation. If you want better quality sound, you can go up to an Echo Studio, which is a high fidelity speaker, still has the microphone. You can talk to it, but you're got a much higher price tag with these. And you can even get third-party speakers like Bose or Sonos that are Alexa enabled. So it works just like an Echo Dot, but again, with a even higher price tag if you want a Bose speaker with Alexa enabled. So lots of options. Oh, here's a third generation right here. So looks like my second generation, but it's got the fabric covering. And you can get that slightly cheaper, 40 versus, was it 45 for the other one, 49. So $10 cheaper until they sell out. Those are probably going to sell out fairly soon. Now, the next thing you can get, however, is what's called a smart display. The Echo Show is the trade name. And what the Echo Show does is it combines a smart speaker with a display. So there's some advantages of that. Obviously, you can ask Alexa what the temperature is, and she'll tell you. If you have a smart display, you can see on the display the information that she's telling you. Lots of different versions. They start at $60, $70 for a 5-inch, about the size of a smartphone. And it goes up to the 10-inch. So you're basically the size of a tablet. It looks like a tablet bolted onto a nice big speaker. So, and then some other variations. But that's the difference there is you get the display as well as the voice. And then it goes on from there with all sorts of wild things like Alexa on the go. You can have Alexa enabled frames for your glasses where you can talk to Alexa while you're walking around. It has microphones and speakers built into the glasses, earplugs. This is for your car. It plugs into the car, works with the Bluetooth. So Amazon's pretty much got it where you can talk to Alexa pretty much anywhere you are if you want to go with some of these other options as well. Questions about the actual devices? Oh, there is one other I'm going to show you, and
I'm sorry. We go back a bit about questions.
Sure.
How does the in-car Amazon differ from using Siri?
You're doing it the same way. So the difference here is that this plugs in, it's got the microphone, the speaker here, but then you could ask Alexa or give Alexa commands while you're sitting in the car and driving.
And so does it connect like through Apple Play so you can broadcast it on your screen in your car?
I don't know if it connects to the equipment in the cars. It might. I don't know. I haven't tried this device, so not sure about that one. And it probably would depend on the car and the technology in the car. So it might do that. Yeah. Good question.
Thank you.
I'll have to research that. Yeah. Yeah. They're getting lots of other things you could do. There's Alexa watches, Alexa headphones. They're getting very creative. There's one I wanted to show you, and I'm afraid it's gone for good, which is bad because I really love this one. It's called the Echo Flex, and it just plugged into an electrical outlet. You can see the picture there. Made it really easy to put them all over the house. Like if you want to put one down in the garage, in your workshop, or in the bathroom, wherever you wanted to put them. But it's been unavailable for quite a while now, probably 2 months. And it says, don't know when or if this is coming back. So I'm afraid that one is gone, but it's one you may want to keep looking for. The nice thing about these is it's a very low price point. Those were, I think, $15. So it's a great way to get Alexa in rooms where you're not very often. You don't want to spend $50 to put one in there, like in your the bathroom or maybe in the laundry room. But to get where you can talk to Alexa from any room in your house. And we'll talk about why that might be a good thing later. So that's called the Echo Flex. It's still on the website, but hasn't been able to order for at least 2 months now, I'd say. Let's talk about setting up your Alexa. And luckily, it's very easy to set up any of the Alexa devices. We'll talk about the Echo Dot, I think, in here, but the process is the same. What you need is obviously an Echo device or an Alexa-enabled device. It could be the Sonos speakers or a Bose speaker, but an Alexa-enabled device. Echo is the Amazon brand. You need to have the Alexa app installed on your smartphone or tablet. And here that is over here on my phone. And picking up a little bit of background noise. Let me mute everybody again here. So you have to have, you really need to have Alexa on your phone, or you can put it on a tablet and use it from a tablet as well. You can, if you don't have a smartphone, you can use a website, but there's more and more things that don't work well if you do it with the website. So really Amazon is designing a lot of the new features to need that phone to set it up and program it. So that's the preferred way to do it. Download the app. And then you have to have a Wi-Fi connection. She communicates via Wi-Fi. So you need to know your username and password for your Wi-Fi, as well as the name of your Wi-Fi to set it up. And you also have to have an Amazon account. Doesn't have to be Prime. You can use the free account, but you do have to have the free Amazon account. So if you got all those things, you can set it up. There's a video here. It's on, and I need to make one quick change here so you can hear the video. I'm gonna need to stop and reshare my screen and turn on the video audio. Okay, so now hopefully you can, hear that. Let me just, so this is from Amazon, showing you how to set up your Echo. There's also instructions here as well if you need more instructions, but just to kind of show you how simple it is.
Set up your Echo. Before setup, download or update the Alexa app in your device's app store. To set up the device, plug in your device. Open the Alexa app. Go to the More menu. Select Add Device. Select Amazon Echo. And then Echo, Echo Dot, Echo Plus, and more. Follow the instructions to complete setup of your device.
Pretty short and simple. It really is designed for someone with not much technology knowledge to be able to set one up. Okay. Questions about acquiring and setting and setup? Okay, well, let's go on. So let's assume now, and hopefully most of you have Alexa already. So now we've got Alexa, and we've done the basic setup. Once you've done that basic setup, you can start using Alexa without doing anything else. As soon as you finish that, you can start issuing commands, and she'll start responding. But there's some ways to customize Alexa to make her work better. and get more from her. So I'm going to show you how you can customize Alexa once you get it installed. One of the things most people do a lot of is working using Alexa for music. So we're going to start off by showing you how to customize your music experience. I'm going to slide this over a little bit so you can see it. So we're going to go into the Alexa app here. And we're going to go to more, just like they did in the video down at the bottom right. And then settings. And settings is, you have to scroll just a little bit. It's right below where it says see more. Then there's settings. We're going to go into here a lot today. And then you just scroll down to music and podcasts right here. So this is where you can link to music services. By default, Alexa comes linked with Amazon Music. Alexa is Amazon, so it connects to Amazon Music. And the base level Amazon Music is free. I think it used to be. I think it's still free. They do have a premium Amazon Music you can upgrade to. But if you want to just use the free one, there's no charge for that. But if you have other music services that you use, for instance, I've linked to Amazon Podcast, Pandora, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and Audible. You can link to other services. If you have other services, all you need to do is click this plus over here.
Wait, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
I have Alexa enabled smart thermostat. So would having this app be able to, would I be able to do this customization on my Android if I had the app to that thermostat?
Yes, you can use the Alexa app to control smart home devices. So
Okay.
Yeah, in fact, we have another whole class on smart homes, but I'll show you when we get into some other parts of the app how you can use Alexa to control a smart home.
Okay, thank you.
Do a real quick demo there. So these are other music services that you can link to Alexa. So if you have a SiriusXM account or a Spotify account or an Apple Music account, you can link any of those into Alexa. You have to have an account. It doesn't come with Alexa. Alexa just has a way to link in. So if you click on one of these, it's going to ask you to enable it and then enter your username and password. And then it'll be linked and it will show up over here on this page, like the ones that I've linked show up on mine.
So what about your music that you've downloaded onto your iPhone?
There's not a way that I know of to get to that.
Okay.
Again, I always say that I know of because these things are changing daily. So they may have put away, but I haven't found a way to actually get information off your phone. But that now, if one of these other apps can get to your phone and play it, then you could get to it that way. So again, there may be that because, for instance, Apple Podcast, I download podcasts to my phone and then play them from my phone using Apple Podcasts. But Alexa isn't accessing my phone directly; it's going through another app. So that might be a way to get there. Now, the big difference is that you also have a default service. Let me scroll up a little bit here. So you set a default service. And again, by default, the default is Amazon. So, and I've left that as the default. So if I just say, Alexa, play James Taylor, she'll play James Taylor on Amazon Music. If I want to hear James Taylor radio on Pandora instead, I would say, Alexa, play James Taylor on Pandora. So you have to say own and then name the other source you want Alexa to use instead of the default service. Now, if you use Pandora primarily, you can change your default up here to be Pandora instead of Amazon. And then if you wanted to hear Amazon, you'd have to say, Alexa, play James Taylor on Amazon. Okay. Makes sense? So that's how you can bring in additional music sources. The other thing you can do to customize it is to integrate your calendar and email. So I'm going to I'm gonna go all the way back out just to show you coming in all the way again till you kind of get used to that. So I'm going to go into more again, go into settings again. And now I'm going to scroll and look for calendar and email. And it's right here. And again, you can link accounts. So if you go into accounts here, you can see I've linked my work Gmail account and my personal Gmail account. I could add my Yahoo account if I had a Yahoo account or an Apple account. So you can link other calendars. And so what that allows you to do is that you can schedule something in your calendar and or see what's on your calendar via Alexa. Let me see if I can get this to work. Sometimes I just changed this. I'm still playing with it to get this one to work right. And your phone is an Alexa device. So you can talk to and get responses from Alexa from your phone. I have this one turned off because she'll be answering every time I say the word Alexa. But let me see if I say, Alexa, schedule meeting with Michelle for 10 o'clock Saturday morning.
Wade, after I schedule, would you like an email invitation sent to Michelle?
Yes.
I've found 3 contacts named Michelle. Do you want to invite Michelle Anderson or Michelle Yarbrough or Karen Michelle Yarbrough?
Michelle Yarbrough.
There are multiple people named Yarbrough in your contacts.
So
would you like to continue?
Continue.
Resuming Amazon Music.
Okay. So I said, this one gets a little tricky. And especially in that case, you've got contacts, multiple contacts. Sometimes she gets confused. So you need to clean your contacts up and stop the music. Alexa, stop. She's playing James Taylor. Okay. But, but that's the way that would work. And similarly, you can say, Alexa, what's on my calendar for today? And she will tell you what's on your calendar for today. So
I have a question. Can you change the voice option on Alexa?
What you call her or the sound of the voice?
Sound of the voice.
Yes, I'm not sure how to do that, but I think you can switch to switch the voice.
Good.
That's a good question. I'll look that up and put that in the email. Because sometimes I get Siri and Alexa and some of the others mixed up. So I'll check that. Unless somebody else knows, I'll change that and put it in the email that comes out after class.
Wade, how do you disable it from hearing your voice?
I mean, if you just want to temporarily do it, the devices have a mute on them. So you just touch the mute button.
Yeah.
And then she can't hear you.
What about your telephone?
There's a way. So I've got mine set to be muted. That's why I have to tap this. So when I need to talk to her, I'll tap where it says tap here to talk to Alexa.
Yeah.
You can set it so that she just listens like Siri does. But I've got an iPhone, so I've got Siri and Alexa, so I don't want them arguing with each other. So I use Siri if I'm going to just talk to her. If I want to get to Alexa, I'll go in and tap here. But there's another setting to have it be voice enabled. So you could just hold up your phone and say, Alexa, and Alexa would answer it. Yeah. Lots of settings, lots of configuration available. Let's go on. There's no questions about that one. Flash briefings are nice. Let me show you how that works. It's probably easier to show you than to explain what it is. So we're going to go back into more and then into settings again. And we're going to look for news this time. And here's news. And we want to go to flash briefing. And so I'm going to click edit. And so what this is, there's lots of different news sources out there. that you can call up individually. So I could say, Alexa, play NPR News now, and she would give me the NPR News update. It's like a 3-minute update. Or I could say, Alexa, play Happy Headlines. What a flash briefing is, you can define a number of these that you want her to play one after the other. It's like a routine, if you know what routines are. So in this case, we do this typically at lunch. When we sit down for lunch, I'll say, Alexa, play my flash briefing, and she'll play NPR. Then she'll do a happy headline. Then she'll give me a word of the day, and then tell me about today in music. So you can pick, however many things you want to be in your briefing. It's very easy to take things into and out of your briefing. So let's say I'm tired of hearing today in music. I don't really like that one. I'm just going to slide it, and it falls down into the bottom. So these are things that I've loaded before that I have turned off. So if I change my mind and want to put it back, it's really very easy. So maybe if I want to bring back BBC World Service, I just slide it over and it's back at the top. So once you've put something in your briefing, she keeps it there to make it easy to find.
Are they all 3 minutes each?
Roughly. I mean, they're not exactly 3, but they're short briefings. They're not like 20 minutes. It's not just turning on the radio and playing. It is an update or a briefing. They're usually all around 3 to 5 minutes, I'd say. And when you first come in, this is probably empty. Get a big cup of coffee and come over here where it says add content, and you have the plus, because there are 12,064 possible choices you have to put in your flash briefing. It'll take you a little while to look at all of them. A little overwhelming. Pretty much any type of briefing you want, it's out there. And you can scroll through. That's fairly intimidating. There are some sorting options. It defaults to featured, the ones that Amazon thinks are the best ones. It's probably some of the most popular ones. But you can also filter it by average customer review or by release date if you're looking for some of the newer ones. So if you want the ones with the highest customer reviews, you can do that. And so I'm starting with the 5-star reviews, and then it'll work its way down, which is not a bad way to search for it. And it does have lots of local things. Like here's Greg Harrelson from Myrtle Beach Real Estate. I'm just up the coast from Myrtle Beach. So if you have a local news station, they probably have a Alexa briefing, especially if you're in a large city, it'll have it. You can also search, which is probably the best way to find things if you're looking for something specifically. So if I want to search for ABC News, I can just hit the search and type ABC. And here's ABC, my ABC Games, ABC Bingo. There's ABC News 6. It doesn't say what city that is. This is in Columbus. So if you have a local ABC News center, you can get your local ABC News or whatever other news source you're looking for. With 12,000, it's sort of like searching the internet. You know it's there. You may not find it, but it's whatever you're looking for is probably in there. Questions about the flash briefing? Okay. All right, let's keep going. Alexa commands. So that's the main feature. Most people use it. And again, these come prepackaged right out of the box. So you can skip all the customizations I showed you and just use commands if you want to. And literally thousands and thousands of commands. In fact, I've been using Alexa for quite a while, and it gets better. You can almost talk to her like a real person now. Sometimes you almost forget that she's a computer. Some of the ones that I use a lot, just to kind of give you some ideas of things you can ask her. What time is it? Frequently. You can tell her to set a reminder. So if I need to do something tomorrow at 2 o'clock, I can say, Alexa, set a reminder for 2 p.m. tomorrow. Timers are great. We use timers. We threw away all the kitchen timers. You can say, Alexa, set a timer for 3 minutes. You can have multiple timers going on at the same time. So you can say, Alexa, set an egg timer for 12 minutes, and then say, Alexa, set a tea timer for 3 minutes. When the timer expires, she'll tell you which one it is. So she'll say your tea timer has expired and play a little alarm until you finally tell her to stop, to make sure she knows that you've know it's expired. So you can have as many timers running concurrently as you want. What's the weather? I asked her that 10 times a day. So you can ask for the weather. You can also ask for the weather in other places. If you want to know what the weather's like in Paris, France, you can say, Alexa, what's the weather in Paris, France? And she'll tell you. Recipes. Alexa, how do you make chocolate chip cookies? She'll give you a recipe. She converts ounces to liters, liters to quarts, all the different English metric system conversions. A nice one that we use a lot is she'll maintain a grocery list for you. So let me go back here. And so I can just tap here. Alexa, add bananas to the grocery list.
I've added bananas to grocery.
So that's how you can, so if you're in the kitchen, you use the last of something, or you're looking around, you see that you need something, you can just tell her to put it on the grocery list. Then when you go to the grocery store, you can come down here to more and lists. And you can see it, you can have multiple lists. I've got a Walmart list, a hardware store list, a grocery list, but here's the grocery list. There's the bananas I just added. It tells me that. You can have multiple people using the same Alexa. My wife and I use the same Alexa, so either one of us can put things on the grocery list. In fact, she may have gotten in the car, headed for the grocery store, and I realized we're out of bananas. I just put it on the list. When she gets to the store and looks at her phone, it'll be on the list. So if she's going through and shopping, or if I'm going through and shopping, pick up bananas, put it in the cart, and just touch the check box there, takes it off the list. It puts it down at the bottom in case you did it by mistake and you need to put it back, or you just want to see what you've gotten lately. I'm going to take that off because we don't need bananas. But really handy way to handle your shopping lists. Questions about lists? Oops, didn't mean to come all the way out. So those are some of the main Alexa commands. Again, there's thousands more, but hopefully that gives you some ideas of the types of things you can ask. Let's talk about some of the music specific things. And again, these all work with Amazon Music. Some of them work with other music, so the commands aren't exactly the same. If you're using Pandora, they may be different, but these are some of the things you can do with Amazon Music.
Wait, I have a question about commands before you move to music.
Yes.
Are you able to tell it to call 911 in an emergency?
You can't, but there's some similar things you can do, and we're going to talk about that in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about how you can use her for contacting other people. Yeah, we'll get there. So you can just tell her to play some music, let her pick what she wants to play. You can change the volume. You can either just say increase volume, or you can say exactly where you want her to set the volume. You can say, Alexa, set volume to 5. Again, you can say play songs by a particular artist. You can play a specific album. If you want to hear Dark Side of the Moon, you can say, Alexa, play the album Dark Side of the Moon. If you don't want to hear it in the same order every time, you can say shuffle songs from the album Dark Side of the Moon. Or if an album is playing or a playlist is playing, you can just say, Alexa, shuffle, and she'll go into shuffle mode instead of playing them in order. Do this one a lot. If you hear something you like, you can say, Alexa, who is this? She'll tell you the artist, the song, and the album. If you like the person, you can say, play the whole album, and she'll flip over and play the album that song came from. You can say, play James Taylor's most popular album, or play his most popular song. You can ask her who sings the song and kind of give you ideas. Lots of ways to interact with her as you're enjoying your music. Yeah, questions, or anybody else have any favorite ones that they use that I haven't mentioned?
Wait, this probably could have waited to the last, but I'm going to go ahead and kick it out now.
Sure.
My wife is concerned about invasion of privacy with this. How do you comment to that?
Yeah, and I in the email that comes out after class, I've attached an article that goes into that in a lot of detail. My short answer to that is that, and again, according to Amazon, I don't have any way to prove or disprove that, Alexa doesn't just listen to what's going on in the house, which is what a lot of people are afraid, that she's listening to every conversation in the house. That's why you have to say Alexa and then give her a command. When you say Alexa, it turns on the microphone and then it listens to whatever you say after the word Alexa. But it's not just recording and listening to everything you're saying. But there's an article that goes into a lot more detail on that and things you can do if you want to erase things she's recorded and those sorts of things.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Gwen.
On commands. Now, she just showed a recipe for sweet potato and beet chips. So I asked her to give me the recipe. She pulls up 3. I asked her again. She gives me different. She will not give me the specific one. What am I doing wrong? Sweet potato and beet chips.
And did she find it once?
Well, she puts up 3 recipes containing those items.
So probably she doesn't have a single recipe for that.
Well, she just said, on the screen she showed beet and sweet potato chips.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. Sometimes she doesn't understand what you're saying. So she's getting better and better, and she's improved a lot. But sometimes,
recipe.
Yeah, and that's and recipes are a good example of the show. So if with just a speaker like I've got, she'll read it off to you. But with the show, it'll put the recipe on the screen so you can actually read it.
How do you do that?
If you have one of those devices that has the show.
I do.
Okay. When you ask her for a recipe, it should show up on the screen.
So she said, it's me 3. This has been going on for weeks. Okay.
Ready to reboot her. Sometimes that does help. Just unplug her and plug her back in. I do that fairly frequently as well.
Wade, I have a question. This is Mac. How do you, I know it's a default, like you say, for Apple Music. Wonder if you request a song and it's in the premium, Amazon premium selection, will she tell you that you're not able to get that? Or will she just play it for you and automatically you're in the premium?
No, she won't upgrade you. I can't remember because I do have the unlimited, but I think she would say that song is not available with the, or you have to upgrade to Amazon Unlimited to get that song. I think she does tell you it's there because obviously Amazon wants you to upgrade to unlimited. So,
right.
But you have to upgrade. She won't just automatically upgrade it. You have to authorize it.
Okay. She won't play that particular song.
She will not play it.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's not part of basic, but it is part of unlimited, she won't play it unless you go to unlimited.
Okay. Thank you.
Another kind of related thing that she tells us all the time is that with our version, it's a single person version. There's also a family version. And so if I'm playing Amazon Music in the kitchen and my wife tries to play it in the bedroom, it'll say someone else is already using Amazon Music. Would you like to upgrade to the family plan where multiple people can listen at the same time? And we always say no. Because she can listen to Amazon, I'll listen to Pandora instead. So we just use different services if somebody else is using the one.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Okay. I think we kind of talked about all this already, just the fact that with the show, you can see things like if you tell her to, you can tell her to show my calendar. And maybe when you may have to tell her to show a recipe is maybe, I don't have a show, so I'm not sure. Maybe that's how you get to see the recipe. Say, show me a recipe for chocolate chip cookies. And
I'll try it.
Put it on the screen. Yeah, see if that works. Okay. And while we're here talking about, because one of the nice things about the show is that if you do have a smart home, you can, and with a camera, you can say, show me the living room camera, so you can see what's going on. Now, somebody did ask about controlling smart home with your device. I'm just going to quickly show you where that is. There's another whole class where we go into this in a lot of detail. But for that, you go into devices. And then here's all your devices. So if I wanted to turn on the lights in the kitchen, I can just come here, and from the device, I can turn them on by clicking here, or I can say, Alexa, turn on the kitchen lights, and she'll turn it on via voice command or through the app. But these kitchen lights are off right now. It's going to freak out my wife, but I'm going to click here, and I just turn on all the kitchen lights.
Do you have to
also come here and say, Alexa, turn off kitchen lights. And so she turns them off. So it works either way. But you can control any of your smart home devices with Alexa.
I apologize. That wasn't a good time to stop and ask the question. But the question I have is it proximity operated? Do you have to be close to it, or can you do it from anywhere?
Yeah, that's a good question. And that kind of gets back to the whole flex thing that I was talking about. And we're going to get into a thing in a minute that makes this even more important. But it's based on voice. I mean, so she has to be able to hear you. So we have an Alexa in the kitchen from our family room, which is open to the kitchen. You know, about halfway through the family room, I can, if I yell fairly loud, she can hear me. So it's not based on distance, it's based on voice. If the microphone can hear you, you can control her from anywhere. So you can be at a friend's house and say, Alexa, turn on the crock pot. Oh, if you're using your phone for the Alexa, yes. Because because it's all being controlled. So I basically talk to the phone goes to Amazon's data center sends the command back out to the device. So it's not going straight from here to that device. It's going via Amazon's data center. So yeah, I could be in Cleveland and tell Alexa to turn on the kitchen lights, and it would turn them on. Yeah, good question though. Okay, got a couple other things here. We want to go to drop-in is like an intercom. So you can, if you've got multiple Alexa devices, for instance, we've got 3. We've got one in my office here, one in the kitchen, one in the bedroom. So if I'm sitting in here and I'm trying to get a hold of my wife, I can say, Alexa, drop into on kitchen, and it'll open up a channel between those 2 devices. You can hear and say what's going on either place. So I could actually hear into the kitchen if she's there. Or I could say, Michelle, are you in the kitchen? She could say, yes, I am. And so you could have a conversation just like an intercom. And when you're finished, you just say, Alexa, hang up, and it will stop the drop-in.
So we could only do that if we had the Flex.
Nope, any Echo device can talk to any other Echo device. So from my phone, I could drop into the Alexa in the kitchen. From the kitchen, I could drop into the bedroom. Again, the nice thing about the Flex is it gives you more rooms you can drop into.
But would it go on her phone if she had that in another room?
I don't think you can drop into a phone. That's a good question as well. I've never tried to drop into a phone. I've used my phone to drop into an Echo device.
I was just wondering, because since we can't buy the Flex anymore.
I'll check on that and put that in the email as well. That's a good question. See, I keep learning more every time I teach this class. I'll see if you can drop into a phone, because my wife does have a Alexa on her phone as well. So I'll try it after class and see. I think she does. Okay. And a related function is called announce. So instead of, if you drop into just a specific device. If you announce, it goes to all the devices. So if you're trying to tell the family dinner's ready, you can say, Alexa, announce dinner is ready, and it'll play on all the Alexa devices. So that's dropping into all devices. It's kind of a special case of drop in. got one last thing I want to make sure we get into. Oh, I just want to mention here that if you can turn off drop in. So if you're in the bedroom and you want to take a nap and you don't want people dropping in and waking you up, you can say, Alexa, turn on do not disturb. And that will keep people from dropping in, or if there's an announcement, it won't play where you are. When you're done, you wake up, you say, Alexa, turn off do not disturb. So at a device level, you can turn that drop in on and off just by saying, turn on do not disturb and turn off do not disturb.
So I have a question about the do not disturb. When you turn that on, does it also mean that family members can't call you from other, another state or somewhere?
They can't call into that device, correct? Okay. While it's in do not disturb mode. If they had access to another device, so they could call the one in the kitchen or the one in the office, but if you've turned off the one in the bedroom, then they couldn't drop into or connect into that one, correct? And it does have a light that alerts you that it's on, so you don't forget that you've got it turned off.
So the other question I have is, if someone else, a family member, calls you while it's in this state, the do not disturb, will it indicate that someone has called? But it's like a little circle at the top with a number in it and has like either 1 or whatever.
Yeah, and when you say call, I want to make sure, you mean drop in or?
Okay, so there's a difference. Like I'm talking about another family member will call you, and will it indicate and let you know that somebody has called?
I don't know if it does that. I don't know how that works. I won't say it doesn't, but I'm not familiar with that. Yeah. Okay. It's like an answer machine kind of thing where it says you missed a call.
I'm not sure that it would say it, but I just wondered, is there an indicator?
Yeah. I don't know of one, but I've never tested that. I've never tried that. So I'll have to check that one too.
Thank you.
So basically a missed call is what you're looking for. Something that tells you somebody called and you missed it.
Yes.
Yeah, let me see if I'll check on that as well. All right. Because there's one last thing I want to cover, and we got just a couple of minutes left here, but this is pretty quick, but it's really important. Maybe one of the most important features of the phone is you can use Alexa for a hands-free call. This is for outbound calls. It's handy if you're in the kitchen and your hands are dirty and you need to make a call. You can do that. You can just, to place a call to somebody, you just, that's in your contact list, you just say, Alexa, call John, or Alexa, call John Smith. As we've turned, you got to be specific about the contacts, and she'll call that person. If you don't know if the person's not in your contacts, but you know their phone number, you can actually just tell her the number. You can say, Alexa, call 919-260-7477, and she'll dial that number. And so you can make a call. Now, where that's really important and kind of closing the loop with the flexes is that, let's say I fall in the kitchen and I can't get up, I've broken my leg, and my phone is up on the counter, so I can't get to my phone because I can't get up. I can just call for help from Alexa. Now, you can't say call 911. Alexa at this point can't call 911, but it could call anyone that's in your contacts or any number that you know the phone number. I know some people put the sheriff's office or the police office or their physician in their phones, so they can place calls to anyone they need to call. And if you got the flexes around the house so that from any place in your house, Alexa can hear you, then you've kind of got that security that if you need help from anywhere in the house, all you have to do is say, Alexa, call, and give her the contact or the phone number. So that's why I like those flexes. They're a cheap way to have extra Alexa ears, if you will, scattered around the house. All right. And that was it. And we are out of time, but I think we covered everything I was going to cover. Hopefully got to your questions. We only have 4 minutes left, so I do need to go on to the closing. So I know some of you are trying to get to another class after this one. So I do want to thank you for attending. Hope you learned some new things about Alexa if you already have one. And if you don't have Alexa, hopefully I've convinced you to go out and try one. I don't think I could live without my Alexa. There is a related class that I mentioned, Introduction to Smart Homes, where we talk about how to set up a smart home with all the smart devices and control it. And I do use Alexa as an example in that one, since that's the only one that I've got. So if you're interested, that's another class that is related. So after class, especially for anyone that's new, I want to make sure you know what's going to happen after class. You'll get an email that has several sections to it. There's some class notes, and they're also in those notes, I'll answer any of these questions I can find answers to. And there'll also be links to some other websites. I think I mentioned there's a link to a privacy article talking about privacy issues related to Alexa, because that question comes up frequently. And I think I've got a couple others in there as well. I think there's 3 different links in the email. So take a look at the links for more Alexa information. There's links to 3 other classes. If you're interested in one of those classes, this is just a shortcut straight to the registration page. There's a give feedback link. If you click that, it'll bring up the feedback page where you can give feedback, 2 questions, rate the class 1 to 5 stars, rate the guide 1 to 5 stars. There's a place to add comments. We certainly hope you'll leave us some comments. They're not required, but they're very much appreciated. And a general feedback section where you can provide feedback. This is also where you can request classes. So if there's a class you'd like to see, if you'd like to see an Alexa intermediate class or any other type of class we don't currently have, this is where you can request that class. A lot of our classes now are coming from these feedback forums. So we do read the feedback from all of the surveys that are done. Want to again mention the help it get set up IO email address. If you want to get a copy of the recording, if there's some things you want to hear again, just send an email to helpitgetsetup.io. Request a copy of the recording. Be sure to include the class name and the date you attended it. You can also request classes through this email address. If you're having trouble connecting to a class, this is your help address. And also, if you don't get that email with the links in it, you can send an email to help@getsetup.io saying, I never got the email for the Alexa class. They'll make sure you get a copy of that and help you figure out why you missed that email. The last link is a link to view schedule, which just takes you to our website where you can book another class. I know our website has changed. I usually go over it a little bit, but we got 1 minute left. So I'll just say, does anybody have any questions or problems with the new website? It's going into our 3rd week now, so hopefully people are starting to get used to it. All right. Okay, so I do want to thank you for attending then. Hopefully you enjoyed the class. I certainly did, and hope to see you again in another class really soon. Thanks everybody for coming.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye. Bye, Wade.
Yeah, bye-bye.